So here she is. This is a 2010 Maserati Gran Turismo MC Sportline. And I do believe a lot of people knows about the Maserati GT, which is the Gran Turismo, but I don't think a lot of people knows about the MC. And probably a lot of people knows about the MC have never seen actually the MC running on the road. And because it's quite old, I mean, the price of this car brand new, you can buy 1.5 Ferraris with this car, and you can buy a Lamborghini, probably a Porsche 911, and all those cars. So, if you got money, you probably won't buy a Maserati, and especially it's an Italian car, so it has a lot of flaws. It probably broke down, all of those electronic stuff that's not stable and all things like that, and it doesn't have a very nice reputation. So this car is sort of, it's kind of low key, it's kind of unexpected. That's why when I first lay my eyes on this car, I was so interested. I was so interested about the owner and who'd actually buy one of these cars, and also who'd modify the car in this very tasteful way. It has that racing homage, but at the same time, it has kept the original flavor of the Maserati. It had brought out the best side of the MC bodyline, and also the Stradale kind of flavor, but it's much more sort of aggressive than the Stradale. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk about this specific car. First, I do want to thank my friend who borrowed me this car for a whole day. Thank you so much. This is such an expensive car, and he just handed me the key and asked me to floor it and to not worry about the gas mileage and everything. So thank you. I had a blast today driving this, and everyone is sort of looking at me, not because this car is loud, but it sounds so damn good. As you can see about this color, this is almost like the Porsche racing yellow color, but this is not factory color from the Maserati. This is a vinyl wrap by the owner. The original color of this car is, I think, British Racing Green, which is that dark tone of the green color, but the owner thinks the color is a little bit too low key, so he wrapped the whole thing in yellow and also puts lots of carbon fiber pieces on this car. For example, this hood, this is a single piece carbon fiber hood. This is not some sort of a 3D printed fake carbon fiber. This is genuine carbon fiber. Look at the weaves on the carbon fiber. It looks really beautiful. The factory hood only has this one kind of scoop, but this one has 4 scoop for heat dissipation and air ventilation and all sorts of things like that. It also looks quite aggressive, and it pairs with this bright yellow color with this dark gray carbon fiber color. It looks really nice. And this door mirror, it has the carbon fiber on it. This is the factory carbon fiber from Maserati. It also comes with the Sportline package. A Sportline package gives you this all sorts of different carbon fibers, like you see right here. This side skirt is also came from the factory. It's fully carbon fibered, and the owner added this one down here to extend the car sort of width to make it looks a little bit wider, and also completed the sideline, which I think it's really, really nice. And also the owner changed the wheel. The wheel is, the tire is now 255, 295 in the back, which is kind of wide for this kind of car. It also added a little bit small spacer to just bring out that wheel to make the line looks more complete. And this car is also properly lowered by coilovers, so it looks really slammed, but not like a stance car. It's very moderate and very kind of aggressive looking, and combed with this line of Maserati, it looks just so complete. It looks just so good. Look at this line. This car is 10 years old, but today it's in 2021. You look at this car, I still feel like this car is just, it's like a modern like design. And this front fascia is borrowed from Stradale. The Stradale is Gran Turismo MC's top of the line product. Stradale is basically a race car. This Sportline package share the front fascia with the Stradale. Sportline is just one tier lower than the Stradale package. And yeah, let's walk to the back. In the back, there is a little spoiler back here. This spoiler is also added by the owner. This is also a dry carbon fiber spoiler. I don't think this spoiler would do anything to aerodynamic, because we already have this small spoiler back here. This is a Sportline package included spoiler. This is also a piece of carbon fiber from Maserati. It comes standard with all Sportline package. But this little spoiler back here, actually, I think it's completed the side profile of this car, because the car nose is so low and the rear is a little bit, jumped out. But, the whole line is like, it's a very fluid line. That's why I think this small spoiler sort of completed this whole stance and things like that. I really like it. And also down here, we have this huge diffuser. And also the owner has changed this diffuser to a completely carbon fiber one. So this thing is really, really expensive. But yeah, it's actually a functional diffuser. This is not just for looks. The diffuser on my Alfa Romeo is just a piece of plastic, but this is carbon fiber and it's actually functional. And those two exhaust hole, I think there's not a lot of a car company has this like weird oval shape exhaust holes. I think Lamborghini has like triple exhaust, and Honda Civic has a triple exhaust. LFA has a triple exhaust, but Maserati just has this oval one. It's two huge holes. It's instead of four. Even the Stradale has only two holes, but they're in the middle. But the Sportline has two on the side. And yeah, that's basically about the exterior. This car looks very clean. The first time I lay my eyes on it, I know this person loves cars, and I know everything that he has done to this car. He done it with a reason. It's not like a lot of people like to play this car with stands and lower it like crazy. This is just moderate lowered, and everything's for performance. And he's still trying to tune the camber and caster on the rear wheel and on the front wheel to make it handle better. And also probably gonna put a wide body on it to make it look even more aggressive. And before we step inside, this handle, you see, this is also carbon fiber. This is also from the factory by Maserati. It also comes with the Sportsline, MC Sportsline package. And Maserati has done something every Italian car manufacturer would do, is that, you see there are two buttons. This is a physical hard button, which you press and you open the door, but when you close it, right next to it is this. You press it. This is an electric triggered button, and this is a physical button, and they put them together. So if you want to open your door gently, you press this. And if you have a bad tempo, you want to open your door like the old way, you press this. It's so odd, I don't know why they did it, but yeah, they put two buttons together. And that's that. That's just, how Italian is that? And now we stepped into this beautiful beast. Now that we're inside the car, let's talk about this interior. There's nothing really special about this interior, but nothing is special makes this car really special. This center console here is exactly what a premium car center console would look like 10 years ago. You have a dial pad, which 10 years ago, if you have a phone connectivity or the phone connectivity capability in your center console, it's such a big deal. And you also have Bose sound system in this car, but with this exhaust, who'd really want to listen to music anyway. And then you have a huge screen. I believe this is a 7.2-inch screen right here, and it's very low resolution. You'll see in a minute when I turn the power up. And you have all your driving modes, some of the essential parts for the driving mechanics. I'll explain those dials a little bit later. And down here you have a very traditional sort of air conditioning, and it's a dual-zone air conditioning. Like 10 years ago you have a dual-zone air conditioning, it's such a big deal. So this thing, you know, even though it looks, I would say, very nostalgic, very classic at this point, but you can tell 10 years ago this is a basically a fully equipped Maserati Gran Turismo MC. So yeah, and what's the main difference between the Gran Turismo MC and the Gran Turismo MC Sportline is that there are no gear levers, because the standard Gran Turismo MC was equipped with the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, but this car, this Sportline, you can option for the F1 style, which is the same transmission you can find in the Ferrari F430, which is a single clutch automated manual transmission. So this car is actually a manual car. On this part, it's all still Alcantara with more carbon fiber. Those carbon fibers are all factory equipped, although it shows a lot of wears and tears, but I'd say carbon fiber holds up pretty well. That's one of the good thing about carbon fiber. And here's the gear 1, and here's the reverse, which this car is 10 years old, so of course the reverse button has been hit a couple of thousand of times, or probably maybe 10,000s of times. So yeah, this I'll show you about this how this gearbox works. It's basically a manual transmission, and although we only have 2 pedals, but those 2 pedals are actually on the same height. For reason why it's on the same height, I found out, if you do rev matching, it's really, really easy to do rev matching, because if you're using a manual transmission or, a standard gearbox, you'll push the clutch and do rev matching. But with this transmission, with this pedal height, you don't have to rev the throttle and downshift. You can just hold the brake and push the brake down and downshift, downshift, downshift. So that would be much easier, and I found it really handy. I think that's why they've designed this pedal height to be exactly on the same height, so you can downshift much easier with your own rev matching. But of course the car will rev matching for you, but until it recognizes that you are doing rev matching, you are flipping the throttle, it will disable that function and allow you to do your own rev matching, which is quite nice. It's also very, very hardcore, and I really like it. So yeah, without further ado, I think a lot of people were thinking maybe I should turn on the car and show you guys how it sounds in this garage. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is the Maserati key. It's the color matched with the dial, which I think it's Italian cars. It's very like details, Italians. It's all about details. It's useless, but it's color matched with the dial. Yeah. How surprised is that? So, like every other cars, you stick the key into the keyhole. It really doesn't like the Lamborghini or the Ferrari. You push the button or something, you just put the key in the keyhole and the dial lights up, and you'll realize, you will see that the auto lights are shining. That's because it's telling you that the gear is auto. Yeah, it starts beeping. You see Italian car airbags, failure, go to the dealer. Of course, this car, who needs an airbag, right? Because the airbag is 10 years old. Of course, it's going to tell you to go to the dealer to fix the airbags, and of course the airbag warning light is on. And then of course you'll be greeted with this number 1. That means what gear you're in right now. Because like the Ferrari, this gearbox requires you to put the car in gear before you shut off the car, so the car won't roll like any other manual transmission. It beeps again, says that your airbags is failed. Yeah, let's just not care about that. We're probably going to remove the airbags. And then you'll see there's one word that's shining down there. That is, of course, the auto, which means you're in automatic gear. You're in automatic mode. And to disable automatic mode, you have to push this auto button to disable it, but we do have to start up the car. So I'll do the sequence once again with the door open so you can hear how this car really sounds like. All right. So what you do, turn off the key, foot on the brake, and listen to that. Glorious. And yes, a series of warning lights is going to show up telling you that your car has a lot of problem. And because you have too many problems, it just says check engine, which means airbags failure. Yeah, of course, I know. And yeah, the air conditioning works really good in this car. Consider this car is 10 years old. The air conditioning is really good. It's powered by a V8, of course. Then the auto is shining, so what I do is to press auto to disable the auto mode, and then you'll have a MCS shining. MCS is how the gearbox is going to respond to your shift. The MCS is the most hardcore version. You push this sport button, that will disappear. That means, well, I know my airbags is wrong. Please don't beep at me. This is, well, very Italian, of course. I'll wait until it to disappear. And you push one time the sport button, the MC shows up, and the MC is beeping. That means the gearbox is prepping for, gave you that MCS experience. If we turn back the auto mode, it will show you now the gearbox is in automatic mode. And if you push the sport, it will give you a sport green light. That means you're in a sport response for the gearbox. But if you disable the auto and the MCS will shining, and then for a moment there, the MCS will stay. That means you're now in the sport mode, but not just normal sport, but the MCS type of sport. And it's in red, of course. Red means fast. And now, to operating this car is, of course, now we're in neutral, like it says on there. And if you want to go to reverse, you push this button down until it beeps, and now you're in reverse. How to put into neutral? Well, you can put into first gear by using the paddle shifter. Push it once, and now the car is in first. But if you release your foot on the brake, the car won't go. You see? We're in the first gear, but the car didn't move. That's because the automated manual transmission was holding the clutch for you because they probably think you're waiting for the red light or you're just about to park the car. So they put the car in gear, but not engaging the clutch. So to put the car into neutral, well, I have to press both pedal on both sides and holding the brake. And now car's in neutral, and now you can shut off the car. So yeah, that's basically about how the automated manual transmission operates. So stop telling me that this is a automatic car. This is a manual transmission with automatic mode. Doesn't like our traditional ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. It is a automatic torque converting automatic transmission with a manual mode. This car is quite a contrary. It is a manual transmission without a clutch. It's an automatic clutch with a automatic mode. So yeah, I hope that clears up the air, and that's the main difference between the traditional sort of base model Gran Turismo MC and the Gran Turismo MC Sportline. And if you want something even more aggressive, which doesn't even have a rear seat, you should opt for a Gran Turismo MC Stradale, which I don't think you can buy them in China. That's such a great car. I've seen one of those while I was in the United States. I think that car has only like 599 of them in the world. It's probably a limited run. But yeah, that's Maserati. And that's the whole sort of interior review of this car. I mean, I can show you everything else, the door handle. It's supposed to be chrome, but after 10 years of beating and, everything, it's just faded out. And the owner has lost this cap to adjusting rearview mirror. So you're basically stuck in this position. If you're too short, you can't see behind you. And everything else is, owner has kept the leather. It's a genuine leather, not like today. A lot of cars use PU leather. This is a genuine leather, so it holds up the edge pretty well. The owner did a detailed cleaning of all those stitchings, so it looks brand new and feels really nice. And all those carbon fibers holding up pretty well. The MC Sportline badge is right there. The carbon fiber is so shining after 10 years. That's why we love carbon fibers. And those Bose sound system, I mean, if you have an exhaust like this, you probably won't listen to music. I mean, the exhaust is the music to me. I'll rev the engine just a little bit because we're in the underground parking lot. Rev the engine would cause quite a problem, but I know you guys want to hear that, of course. So yeah, that's basically about this review. If you really like it, I know I did not including any sort of driving aspect of things. Like I said, like I explained, that this car is still in the work in progress. The owner is still tuning this car, so driving experience wasn't that important at this part. I just want to introduce you to this car, to Maserati's, like, I think the most classy, the most stylish, I think one of the best looking Grand Tour in the world. And this is my review of the Maserati Gran Turismo MC Sportline. I'll see you next time. Bye now.